The Not Perfect Hat Club grew out of what I call a woohoo moment I had with a group of third graders in Illinois. Woohoo moments are a bit like aha moments, except they happen when there's a flash of total joy between the kids and I. In those moments, the adult world falls away, and we're all just kids jumping feet first into whatever puddle of fun we've discovered. That day, the kids and I had just finished reading a Critterkin story. You should know that my idea of reading a story involves having the kids help me by repeating words and sounds as loudly as they can, so the energy was already pretty high when I asked the kids if they'd like to learn to draw a dog. The loud yes and happy buzz that greeted my suggestion were all the answer I needed. Their excitement transported me back into my 8-year-old self. I could hardly wait to break open my box of crayons and start drawing. It was a woohoo moment, if ever I'd seen one, which is what makes what happened next so disturbing. I looked out at the open, smiling faces and said, okay, let's get started with the nose. In the few seconds it took me to look down and draw a nose on my own paper, the mood in the room shifted from joy to trepidation. I looked up to see frustrated frowns, pouty lips, and angry eyes. I can't do this, said freckle-faced Simon. Me either, said Jessica. Mine's awful. The complaints went on and got louder and louder until finally I shouted, time out! What's going on here? This is supposed to be fun. Amy raised her hand. Miss Jenna, I can't draw, she said. Everybody can draw, I replied. Just do your best. At this point, I still wasn't hearing what the kids were telling me. But it isn't as good as yours, Morgan complained. Yeah, mine doesn't even look like a dog, said Oliver. That's when I began to understand. The kids weren't allowing their internal sense of fun to do their drawings. They were judging and comparing themselves to me. Searching for a way to ease the tension, I grabbed an old, sun-bleached garden hat and pulled it down over my head. I can see it's time to break out the not perfect hats, I said. What's that? The kids demanded, laughing and pointing at my lopsided floppy hat with the daisy sticking out of the top. This is my not perfect hat, I said. Whenever I put it on, I'm allowed to be completely myself, have fun, and make mistakes. So what do your not perfect hats look like? Can you draw them for me? Within seconds, the kids were completely engrossed in drawing their hats. There were no complaints and no comparisons because I'd asked them to draw something that was totally their own. They had nothing to compare their hats to, and they were free to explore their own imaginations. Subsequent decisions and drawing sessions with the kids taught me just how deep and pervasive their judgments ran. When I asked them what it means to be not perfect, I got a long list of negative adjectives. Stupid, messed up, different, strange, abnormal, bad are some of the worst. Even more disturbing was my discovery that even though they could understand it's impossible to be perfect, they still think they have to be. This isn't surprising when you consider that every day they're compared to and measured against one another based on a one-size-fits-all testing model. The Not Perfect Hat Club is my way of giving kids an alternative reality. The story revolves around 3 recovering perfectionists whose adventures teach them that no one is perfect and it's a lot more fun and productive to make mistakes. I want our kids to understand that learning is an ongoing, lifelong process, and that trial and error are just part of that process. I want them to be fearless when faced with challenges, to put on their not perfect hats every time they walk into a classroom, and understand that they're seen and appreciated for who they are. I want them to understand and believe that the measure of their success is not how they perform on tests, but what they learn from and do with their failures.